This is Texans TV.
Welcome into Texans 360. It's week 2. The season is underway, and the Texans are back at home against the Colts. We've got a great show because we're getting ready for this home opener. We're going to catch up with the head coach. We're going to catch up with Jonathan Greenard. We've got some uniform updates. You're going to want to stay tuned for that. But first, let's catch up with some of our best sights and sounds from week 1 at Baltimore.
Nobody come on. They keep playing with us. Don't get mad. Play on the name with us. Play on the name with us. Checks. Let's go. All right, boys. Hey, Houston Texans.
We're here now. We're here now.
Coin we'll use for today's coin toss. Heads, tails. Heads, tails. Texans, you're the visiting team, so you'll call the coin toss. What is your choice? Heads. His choice is heads. It is heads. You've won the coin toss. What is your choice? Texans won the coin toss. Choose to defer their option to the second half. Your receive. Which direction do you want to kick? Flip sides guy?
It's great to have you listening to Houston Texans football as we kick off the regular season. The left side of the defense. Here's the snap. Jackson, pocket collapsing, trying to get out of trouble, but he can't do it. It's a sack. Jonathan Greenard brings him down, and the ball comes out, but they're going to blow it dead as Javier Thomas picks it up. Little toss to him, and Perriman buries him in the backfield. MJ Stewart pounces on it, and it's a takeaway for the Texans. On the snap, Jackson couldn't collect, and the ball just popped loose. Lamar stepping up, Lamar in trouble, and Will Anderson Jr. has him down. A sack by the Terminator.
That was a fun game at Baltimore. Even though it wasn't a win, some good positive things came out of it. We got to see some rookies make their debut like Will Anderson, and we caught up with the head coach DeMeco Ryans, who's now getting ready for his home debut at NRG Stadium against a team that he knows very well, the Indianapolis Colts.
Joining us now in the Hyundai Texans radio studio, Coach DeMeco Ryans. Coach, great to see you. And I know we have a lot to talk about with the game against the Ravens, but it's Colts week, and finally I have a coach here who understands my pain and my feeling about the horseshoe. Coach, I'm so happy that you're here.
Oh, happy to be here with you guys, and for me too, it's Colts week. Can't wait.
He's been waiting for this. Like all afternoon, he's been waiting for you to walk in here, Coach. But when you were playing, what do you remember about taking on the Colts when you first got here in 2006?
With the Colts, it was always a tough out, right? You had one of the best quarterbacks to play the game in Peyton Manning, so it was always a tough matchup. And I always remember when we finally beat the Colts, right? That was a big deal. But that rivalry definitely means a little bit more when you beat the Colts.
With the Ravens game, I know that you still have more things to review and maybe go over with the team, but despite the fact that you lost the game, there were some things that you can take moving forward. Can you share some of those things with us?
Yeah, for sure. It was a lot of learning lessons for us. I think our guys did some things really well. When you look, starting with our offense, right, when the protection was good and we were on it, seeing CJ play the position, putting the ball exactly where it needed to be. I mean, he can operate with precision. Just have to make sure he's comfortable and all the other 10 guys around him are playing the best that they can play, playing at a top level so he can make those throws that he made in the game. So the things to clean up with the running game, I think we can run it better. We have to give them more opportunities, and we will. And when you go to the defensive side of the ball, I think our guys, they flew around. They were swarming. To watch Will Anderson, to watch Jonathan Greenard, to watch both of those guys on the edge, that was awesome to see, the relentless mindset that they brought to the game. And now overall, now we attack the ball. We got 2 takeaways. Now the thing we can clean up on defense is just some of the miscues in the red zone where it's just alignment and communication. And so when I look at the game, all of the mistakes are fixable. Right? We just have to learn from it and make sure that we fix them and continue to move on and grow from it.
Well, game 1 to game 2 improvement, we talk about that kind of thing a lot. And with C.J. Stroud and the passing attack, Coach, they played in the preseason, but there he is throwing it over 40 times in one afternoon. You hadn't done that yet. You do it in practice sometimes, but it's not quite the same thing. So what do you expect as you get ready for week 2 in terms of getting better?
Yeah, I expect, like I said earlier, just with the guys that are playing around him, just for that to be better. I think we can help, CJ when it comes to running the ball more effectively. And I think that opens up the pass game even more. But I would see CJ, this week, pre-snap operations just coming out of the huddle quicker, right? Making those decisions quicker. But, I credit to CJ, man, for his first game against the Ravens at their place. Like, the kid didn't blink. He made some really tough throws, and I'm proud of him for his first game.
Focus on Will here. His relentless nature to the quarterback, it might be his superpower. I try and figure out what each player's superpower is. It might be that. Like, he never gives up on a play, and that paid off, obviously, to go get his sack.
It's very interesting with Will, his rookie first game, so you have those nervous jitters. So we were talking Saturday night, and he comes up to me like, Coach, how was it your first game? Like, he wants to know, like, how. Yeah. It's like, Will, you just go do what you've been doing in practice. And for you don't have to worry about anything. And that's what he did, and it's awesome to see it, like what he does every day.
Yeah.
It showed up in the game.
Well, hoping for great memories from Sunday when you take on the Colts at noon in the home opener. Thanks a lot, Coach.
Yeah,
good luck.
Thank you, guys.
We're rolling on with more Texans 360, and Lad Harris, he's the team nutritionist for the Texans. He's a big reason why these players are fueled up for game day every single week. He looks into all the nuances of what every single player needs to have their best performance on Sundays. We had a chance to catch up with Lad, find out more about what it takes to be a team nutritionist and what he does every single day with the Houston Texans.
My name's Lad Harris. I'm the Director of Team Wellness for the Houston Texans. The biggest thing that we try to accomplish here is really working alongside the larger sports performance team and supporting really routine development with the players and supporting their health and wellness. My goal has always been, how do we establish the most elite and progressive performance or wellness and performance nutrition program across sport.
We got a really good staff here. I mean, what they do as far as in the kitchen, getting us to kind of refill our body. They're always giving us every bit of information we can to kind of just take as far as what to kind of put in it. And when you got that in the house, it's hard to kind of miss game days, and that's really what you want to optimize.
When I got here at the time, it was Bob, and now Janice and Cal McNair have really invested in the health and wellness of the players, really having that support from ownership. Across the last 6 years, we've been able to build out or hire 2 additional registered dietitians, Jacob Mertens, who's the Assistant Director of Performance Nutrition, and Amy Johnson, our Performance Nutrition Coordinator. And we've really developed our culinary staff. We have Chef Chris Bednors, who leads up our Performance Culinary Program, and then also Chef Mike Patowski.
Yeah, I've been trying to get that baby fat up off me, man. You know what I'm saying? So I just been running, eating more lean. That's what it was. It was really my diet. Just leaning out, just getting that body fat percentage down. Lad, our nutrition, he happy about that. Like you said, man, I'm trying to get through some holes this year, man. I'm trying to get through that.
The second that you step into this building, everything's about high performance. It's not always just about carbohydrate, protein, calories, right? Food is more than that. Food is social. Food is community. Food is team building. At different points of the year, we might incorporate something that hits more of the emotional side of the spectrum or the team building side of the spectrum. Food speaks to the soul. Food speaks to other aspects of our lives. I always try and set my standards and sights high, because at the NFL level, that's what's required of the players every day. And so why shouldn't that also be my target relative to let's be the best in the world, have a championship style program.
I just have to say, ever since Lad showed up, the food in the cafeteria is chef's kiss excellent. So we always like having Lad around here. We like having this guy too, Jonathan Greenard. He's been around for a minute. He's in his 4th season. I had a chance to catch up with him. He's got a big year coming up, not just on the field, but off the field too. It's the Deep Slant 101 presented by Xfinity. Joining me, I want to say my good friend, Jonathan Greenard, because I feel like we're friends now.
Right.
You've been around for a minute, right?
Right, for sure. I mean, 4 years now, I would call that a friendship for sure. Gotta be. I don't know, what are we doing here?
Well, I was just saying, I was like, I think you're the longest tenured Texan on defense, and we just confirmed that you are.
Yeah. The year 4, man, coming in that COVID year was a twist, but it was fun. Like I said, I'm blessed to be here, but I definitely wear that title now, I guess.
You have been through it. You've been through it.
Right.
A number of coaches, a number of defensive coordinators.
Right.
I feel like there's just a different buzz or excitement about you and just this team this year.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you get a fresh start, you get a clean start, I think that should be a breath of fresh air for anyone. Obviously, not just here, but anywhere, because you get to just start all over and, show people who you really are, your true identity. But just to be here and go through the experience of growing pains, understand how to grow, not just a player, but as a man, as a family man as well, all those things just helped me out. So I'm just glad I was able to, experience those things with those guys.
All right. So after the game at Baltimore, you posted on Instagram just some pictures and some highlights. First of all, congrats on the sack.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate it.
And a fantastic game in week 1. What a way to start the season. But you had the sack on Lamar Jackson, and you posted a picture and a video. And I was looking at the comments, and he actually commented. He was like, can you just take that picture and that video down?
Yeah. That's my boy, man. We go all the way back to Louisville. We were in the same class coming in from straight out of high school. We ended up taking our visits. I went to the spring game together, so we pretty much known each other before we even graduated high school. But yeah, just to get to that moment, we already knew what he was going to do from the first day he stepped on campus, especially when people seen the viral video of him, juking guys out their shoes. And seeing him get to this point now, it's all expected at this point. The type of guy he is, the type of character he shows, not just about the game, but to everyone around him, the people that, follow him. It was good to definitely be on the other side of, obviously sacking him. He was off limits in practice in college a lot of times. But just to wrap him up, man, and get a sack under my belt was great. Just not for me, but for the team.
We were talking about how DeMeco Ryans is his first season as head coach.
Right. He's
coaching against the Indianapolis Colts. No one needs to tell him what the rivalry is like, because he lived it. He was here when the franchise won their first game against the Colts.
All right.
Heading into Sunday's game at home, how excited are you for him to make his debut, for y'all to make your 2023 debut in front of this home crowd?
Yeah, I'm eager to see what the crowd is going to be like, because I just know that
you started in 2020 when they were just like posters.
Exactly. It was literally posters there at this time. So I'm excited to see how the crowd comes. I know they're going to come out full swing. I mean, just because of the hype. Obviously what we got going on right now. I mean, obviously, we didn't like the result, obviously, and that's not the standard for what we want, obviously, last week. But the mindset, and if you see and you watch that game and the passion that we still play with and fix a little couple things, I think we're going to put ourselves in really good situations. So I love the mentality we have even just after practice today. So the mindset and the mission never changes. We're going to continue to go out there and work our butts off, but that crowd is going to be crazy. And they come with it. With the combination of what we have, I like ourselves.
I like ourselves too.
Ourselves.
JG, always a pleasure. Best of luck with the baby. Best of luck with the rest of the season. Great catching up with you.
I appreciate it, DP. Thank you, for sure.
Welcome back to Texans 360 from the Ford studio. And lots of people are hitting us up on Twitter asking about uniforms, uniform changes. Well, there's one guy who's got the answers to all your questions. He's in charge of marketing for the Houston Texans. He's Doug Bosick. And our very own Texans Radio had a chance to sit down with him and find out more about what's to come in 2024.
Doug Bosick joining us, Texans Senior Vice President, Marketing and Communications. All right, uniforms. This may have come up a few times.
You have to ask.
Have to ask.
Yep.
Where are we at? Where are we going? And there's a lot attached to that. So what can you share with us high level right now?
I mean, I'll answer any question you have.
Okay.
Right? So, high level, we're finally at a point where designs are done, which means it's a drawing on a piece of paper, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, right now, between probably 2 months ago and November, Nike's working on actually making the one-of-one prototypes. And we've shared in the public, Cal has stated publicly that we will have 4 new uniforms. So across the board, all 4 will be new. So we literally get 4 jerseys sent to us in November, or maybe we'll go out to Nike in Beaverton and see them in person. And that's the moment where drawing comes to life. So we are finally at that stage where jerseys are locked, pants are locked, socks are locked. Helmets are locked, which means we may have a few tricks up our sleeve for next year. Way to honor tradition, but also try some new stuff along the way. So all that's done, and we're just waiting for those first prototypes that we can't wait to get our hands on.
Well, I can't wait to see 4 uniforms.
4?
That is outstanding.
Wow. Yep.
When do we see them? When do they get unveiled to the public, Doug?
April of next year.
So
that's not that far. If you really think about it, it's not that far away.
No, it's not, because we have the season that'll occupy our time.
Correct.
and then the combine, and then
and then you're like a week before draft. You're like, all right, let's unveil these things. Typically, you could imagine a 2 or 3 year process to create new uniforms, because the team's going to figure out what's their brand identity, how do they want to look, and then you send that as like inspiration to the NFL and Nike, and then they say, here's how we interpret your brand on uniforms. We kind of did it all at once. Right? Okay. We said we have some hypotheses we want to test. Let's bring all the fans in, as many as we can get to test them. So that helped us cut down a lot of time on the research side. 2, I would say, this is so important to the organization that, Cal McNair, Greg Grissom, myself, and a few other staff, we immediately went to the NFL and we said, we want to refresh. This is the feedback we're hearing from our fans. We even took a trip out to New York to meet with Goodell in person and said, here's what we're thinking. Here's what we'd like to do. And from that moment on, the league said, we want to support the Houston Texans. But what drove the process was the fan feedback, right? First or second month on the job, we're talking to fans. Forget formal focus groups and formal surveys. We're talking to fans at training camp. We're talking to fans at every preseason game. We literally walk the building sometimes. We're like, hey, why are you wearing that light blue jersey other than it, says Warren Moon? You look like you're 18. You weren't around for that team, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it's just cool. I love this color, right? So all that feedback, fans were saying us even from those casual conversations, y'all don't feel H-Town. Y'all don't feel like part of the city. They say, we'll give you due credit. You guys have done a lot financially for the community, but they said it's not just about the give back. How are you reflecting us? How are you reflecting our city? How are you reflecting people? How are you reflecting culture? And we didn't necessarily maybe have all those answers a year and a half ago, right? So for us, it was just listen to the fans, right? And then once we had a good sense of what was going on, meeting with Cal and team just to say, hey, here's what we're hearing. Seems like a no-brainer. And then it became about leaning on the fans and leaning from a lot of people we have here that are from H-Town, born and raised, to help shape that future of the creative and the marketing or whatever it may be. So yes, this is a city that I think I love because it really reflects my own character. But at the end of the day, the fan feedback from day one made us go, let's lean in.
Yeah. And you've leaned in a lot. It's good. H-Town made.
H-Town made.
All right, Doug, thanks a lot for joining us. We'll visit again soon. We'll make this a regular kind of thing, if that's okay with you.
Looking forward to coming back.
We're back for our final segment of Texans 360, and Texans players are always out and about in the community. That's no different now that the season's underway, and our very own D linemen, Jerry Hughes, Kurt Heinisch, Malik Collins, they visited a local elementary school and had some really good times with some local kids. Take a look. To celebrate the beginning of the school year, the Houston Texans defensive line, led by Malik Collins and Jerry Hughes, teamed up with the Texans Foundation and Cool Dad to provide a special picture day and school uniforms for the students at Blackshear Elementary. More than 300 students at Blackshear were greeted by lots of Texans players who were on hand.
And you stand right here on this line and look at him. Smile, man. Come on, smile. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, that's a great smile. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. You look good. Let me see them teeth. Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
This partnership will enable every student at Blackshear the opportunity to have their picture taken and have printed photos to take home and share with friends and family. The players covered all costs, so each child was able to take home their printed school photo and a brand new uniform.
Today's event at Blackshear Elementary School was simply amazing. We would like to thank the Houston Texans and Cool Dads for throwing this awesome event for our scholars. The uniforms that were provided by the Texans is going to be an awesome thing for our scholars here to Blackshear Elementary School in 3rd Ward, Texas.
1, 2, 3.
Always fun to see our players doing some good things out in the community. Always love to see smiles on the faces of little kids in the community and smiles on your faces. Hope you enjoyed Texans 360. The Texans are back at home against the Colts, so if you're coming to the game, be sure to get there early, be in your seats, be loud. It's something that all the players are asking for, head coach is asking for, and we're asking for because we are about to get the season underway at home. There's nothing like a rockin' NRG Stadium on Sunday. So thank you so much for watching, and as always, go Texans.